What's up, everybody? Well, I'm sitting here with my Guayusa tea and my vape pen and philosophizing. I was just thinking it's kind of the new, sometimes picture, guys back in the, 15th century sitting back with like a mug of their, their hot beverage, whatever tea they have in their big pipe, and just how times have changed, but people haven't, We kind of look at society as if like we've grown up, and then a lot of people look at society as if we've grown down or got worse. I like to look at both sides of it. I guess be fair. And anyway, today I thought I'd talk about, well, social awkwardness. It's something I've never really mentioned in a video, so I thought it'd be a good subject. For example, the way I come across to people is I may seem like a guy who is pretty outgoing, let's say, and I am. And when I get to know a person, I'm really, I really enjoy talking with a person. But at first, I'm very wary. This is something that's come from, I guess, issues in the past where I've been lied to or ripped off, or things have happened that have made me wary of people. So some people may get the impression that I'm, just open and tolerant and accepting and to everyone. Whereas I actually find myself, because I'm not saying everyone would think that, because some people think that I'm the opposite. They think I'm closed-minded and arrogant and all these things. There's always opinions about other people and how they are. But only the individual truly knows in their heart, if they analyze it, what their intentions are and what kind of a person they are. So whereas my wife thinks that I'm a really outgoing person, and my wife is the kind of person who feels like she stutters or can't quite put her words together when she's in a conversation. And I'm like, don't beat yourself up. Everybody's like that. And I said, I'm that way too. It just may not seem like it, but in a group conversation, it's different than when you're one-on-one with somebody else and nobody else is there. My example, I guess, would be a grocery store. I go into the grocery store, and some days I'm very talkative with the clerk. I just, I got a lot of things to say, or just feel good, like things just click, and I'm like, hey, how's it going? Cool. And we're on the same level. And other days, I may say something, and then they don't even respond, because maybe they're in a bad mood. So then that cuts that off. Or other days, I'm not in a good mood, but they're talkative, or, but it could be the same clerk. So what I'm saying here is that a person, individual, you and I, have different, depending on our levels, our chemicals in our body, not illicit chemicals, but, natural compounds, dopamine and serotonin levels. It can affect how you react and talk to people. And this is why if somebody takes, Valium, like I could take Valium and become more talkative and more social because I'm feeling like, and MDMA, I guess, it's the same thing that's used in psychotherapy for people trying to, mend relationships and things like that. So I think, how do these compounds exactly work? Well, they work on, like I said, serotonin and dopamine, but there's a little more to it, and each one has its own little feeling. But I'm not talking about compounds here. I'm just using the plants as an example to show how they either mimic natural compounds or release endogenous compounds, or endorphins, or norepinephrine, whatever, all these different, things your body uses. And depending on how these levels are balanced out is how well you can socialize with people. Now, I've had people come over to my house, and let's say I'm not expecting company. Somebody comes over and I'm like, just don't feel like talking at all. I feel awkward, like I don't quite know what to say, even if it's someone I've seen a lot of times. And then within 5 minutes I'm like, hey, yeah, we're talking, let's hang out, let's go do this and that. And it's because you're both coming in on different frequencies, and then you combine and begin to undulate, fluctuate on the same level. I guess the reason I brought this up was because I've heard a lot of folks in the past talk about social awkwardness and how they feel like they can't relate and they can't communicate. And I want to make sure that people know that everyone gets to be that way once in a while. Everyone has times where they're just not quite in the social mood. Some people are overly social. They don't know when to, leave, or they don't know when to stop talking if you're hanging out with them, or going out to do something, or, they can't get a hint if they say, like, hey, let's go out to dinner and do this, and you don't want to, and you're like, no, I got some things to do. Oh, come on, they're really pushy, and they don't, in other words, people all socialize in their own ways. Some people don't pick up on cues very well. This may make social awkwardness even stranger. But anyway, just some thoughts about that. I'm sure a lot of you out there have experienced it. I was thinking how I'm not awkward with myself. It's funny because when I first started making videos, I'm sitting here looking at the camera and thinking, I'm looking at a machine, I'm looking at a digital camera. How the hell am I talking as if it's a person? But it took a lot of time. At first I was just kind of like, not quite sure what to say. But over time the camera became my friend. But when I've switched cameras, it's like talking to a new camera, a new person. I know that sounds totally weird, but we become comfortable with certain things in life. People and objects, situations. Anyway, hope y'all are doing well, and have a wonderful afternoon or evening or